Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I'm actually dropping a very special podcast that I did with two people who have an amazing business model in SaaS with GoHighLevel. And I'm going to give you guys a very special gift for staying to the end. And if you skip the podcast just to get to the end, you're doing yourself a disservice. So if you're struggling to get clients, if you're struggling to get started in SMA, I highly recommend that you watch this video all the way through to curb your learning curve and become really successful, whether you sell low ticket or high ticket. So enjoy the episode. I hope to see you in the community. Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got a really special episode that is way different than anything that we've done before. So sitting here to my left, I got Kai and Mike, and they have such a different business model than anything that I have on my channel. I'm super excited to bring it to you guys. So I'm gonna let them introduce yourself, and we're gonna dive in.
All right, Mike, you wanna go first?
Sure. So my name is Michael. I'm at about 15K a month, monthly recurring revenue right now, doing GoHighLevel SaaS, no fulfillment, no delivery, basically nothing, completely automated, and yeah, super simple to do.
Yep. I'm Kai. I have the exact same business model, man. Me and Mike just, we have completely different, I guess we have the same exact business. We just pretty much work together.
We collaborated.
We collaborate. We have the same SOPs, same fulfillment. We like basically share the same VAs at about 30K a month, about 82% profit margin. And yeah, man, SaaS is a fantastic business. I've tried a lot of shit that didn't work, and this is the best business I've found, honestly, so far.
And man, tell them where you're from and how old you are.
So I'm from Hawaii originally, born and raised, and I just had my birthday last week, actually, 28 years old. Went out with Brandon, actually, great time. And yeah, man, I've started this about a year and a half ago, and yeah, it's been a freaking ride, that's for sure.
For sure, man. Yeah, so I'm from Belgium originally, so I actually started my business there about a year and a half ago as well. Started out SMMA, completely flopped, not my thing. Then about 6 months later, got into SaaS, and that just hit immediately, got really well, and yeah, I've been doing that ever since for about a year so far.
All right, so you're from Belgium, you're from Hawaii. How the heck did you guys come together in collaboration?
Mike slid in the DM, man. He slid in.
Oh, co-pitched you in the DM?
Yeah, you know Pavel and all those guys. So Pavel has a community online, a school community. I made a post in there. I was like, hey, this is how I got my first 13 clients cold calling, or 16 clients or something. I went from like 0 to 3K a month cold calling. Absolute shit show, by the way. But yeah, then Mike slid in my DM and he was like, hey man, I'm doing the exact same thing pretty much. I've been cold calling as well. Like, would love to get on a call and talk to you. And I was like, who is this guy? Like I thought I was the only dude who was good at cold calling, like in that community. Mike gets on a call with me, started chatting, and then like 6 months later, he moves to Hawaii with me and we start building the business together.
And where was you living before you moved to Hawaii?
Dude, so I started the business in Belgium, and you know, it was a fucking grind, man. Like cold calling like 8 hours a day and
cold
stuff.
Calling, dude.
Like it was rough, right? But then I moved to Spain for a little while, just to like another entrepreneur. Didn't really work out that well. And then Kai's like, yo, dude, like you should kind of just come out to Hawaii, man. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, why not? So yeah, man, bought a plane ticket that same day, moved out, and we've been together ever since.
Some serious bromance going on over here, guys. Make money together, it's easy.
It's easy, it is.
You spend more time together than you do with family and other friends.
Girlfriends,
so I get it.
Everything, yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Man, the fact that you guys are doing this all through like SaaS and is super stable. It's incredible. Like we all know the ups and downs of the agency game and the high ticket. So a SaaS business is probably one of the best lifestyle businesses that you guys can have. So that's amazing. Hawaii's got to be fun. You know, a great place to be, a digital nomad. So, but let's dive in, man. So what got you guys into SaaS, and what did you guys both do before SaaS?
Yeah, so I originally got started with Airbnb. I graduated college, literally had no idea what I was doing. I just messed around for a couple of years, just so lost, dude. I knew I couldn't get a job. I don't know, something about it. I was just like, can't do this shit. So I started working with my parents with their Airbnbs. Within like 6 months, I'd pretty much tripled their profit. So I was like, oh shit, like, you know, I can actually do this. Like I can learn a skill, implement the skill, and then like see an outcome. But you know, working for your parents isn't the best case scenario. Love them to death. Shout out mom and dad. But yeah, and then I found Pavel's community online. And then I just saw the low ticket recurring revenue as such a low stress lifestyle business. And like you said earlier, everything online at that time was social media marketing. So $3,000 a month retainers, high churn, low volume of clients. Big team. And I just looked at that model and I just like, dude, this just seems like an absolute, I mean, every business is a little bit of a shit show, but it just looks stressful. So I was just like, what if I got clients paying me $200 or $300 a month for like an automated service that I didn't have to actually do anything hands-on? And that's when I found GoHighLevel. And then I started researching a little bit more and more, found Pavel's community, figured out the website SaaS model, and I just started cold calling, man. 12 days. I literally, like, from day one, figured out what GoHighLevel was. Day 12, I had my first client. It's just taking action. Cold calling with absolutely no idea. I'm still, to this day, like, I still haven't built websites. It's all filled to VAs, all of it.
That's
amazing. I can't build websites for shit, man.
That's amazing. Yeah, you have no tech.
No
Mike's
tech.
the tech guy.
Mike is my genius.
We'll let Mike talk about what he did before and what you got you into SaaS.
Yeah.
No, for sure, man. So originally I'm actually a software engineer. So that's why I'm the tech guy, basically.
Oh, well there it is.
There it is. So yeah, man, I worked for a software company basically for like a year or so. I just fucking hated it. I was like, I can't be doing this. So about 6 months into that, I started my company, which was SMMA at that time. Got into Iman Gadzhi's course. So that's where it all starts. It's the gateway. And yeah, man, from there, struggled for like 6 months, no clients, just like losing like $1,000 a month basically, which was like half my wage, by the way. Just getting absolutely fucked. But at the very least, learning all the skills that I would need to become successful, right? So I had that. Then I ended up finding Pavel on YouTube as well, and joined this community. And yeah, all of a sudden I see this post in the community from our boy Kai. He's like, I've made like 12 clients in like, I don't know, like 2 months, 3 months, whatever. I don't even know. Or like 12 weeks. I don't remember, right?
Shorter than that.
Yeah, it might have been shorter than that. And I just remember being like, there is no fucking way this guy can do this shit. And I cannot. So I was fucking pissed, dude. So what I did, switched my shit just like that, immediately, dropped everything, went to that, and I got like 15 clients in like 10 days. Swear to God.
Using my scripts, by the way. Using my cold calling script.
Using his script.
This guy can't click a mouse correctly, but he's closing clients.
Because I was doing
Bro, just give me your script.
Yeah, dude. I was doing so much volume at that point and just struggling. I was like, dude, if this shit works, and I just signed my guy, it was so easy. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. This is like, I just found the golden fucking nugget, dude. This is it. I'm gonna be rich, bro.
And I want to add to that, like I still have my first client paying me $200 a month from like a year and a half ago when I first started. Shout out David. Absolutely, like, just it's incredible.
I still have a bunch of my first clients as well. Actually.
But what's important to note here is why Kai can't operate and you can build a software.
I can build fucking anything.
Kai can talk to people as like an attractive personality person. And if you go back 2 years, I know, because it's very similar to my story, your guys' story. I couldn't close a door. I had terrible time talking to people. But now, as an entrepreneur, you level up so much. Now you have no problem talking and closing. But I bet if you go back 2 years ago, you guys were even more opposite than what you are now.
Dude,
right?
if I can speak to that for a sec, it is incredible because while like I'm still bad with technology, since I met Mike, like if any regular person, like my friends back home think I'm like a tech genius. Compared to Mike, I'm nothing, right? Tech-wise.
Yeah.
But just by being around someone who is that good with tech, you automatically elevate, right? It's how it works. You know, you're around better people, you get better, it's amazing.
So I haven't even got a chance to tell you guys this, but similar situation for me when I had my success. My ex-business partner Jose and me both joined another online community together, a coaching program, high-ticket SMMA program, and I was known as like the fulfillment guy, and he was known as the sales guy. And a friend of mine, Jasmine, put us in contact with each other. It was like, "Yo, Brandon, you're struggling to get clients. Jose, you can't keep clients. Like, you guys should come together." Bro, within 2 months of working together, we went from like $20K a month to like $100K a month. Yeah. And it was just putting two good skill sets together. And in those 4 years we worked together, now you thought I was a salesperson.
I did, yeah.
But really, I'm more like Mike. Yeah. I'm more systems, tech, and fulfillment. But Jose, just being around him, watching him, learning from each other. And same thing with Jose. Jose can now build campaigns and things too. You know, you just level up and you come more similar. But when you first start, yeah, it's really good if you can collab with someone who has an opposite skill set of you.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I got two important questions here. Explain everything you did to try to get your first client, both of you. And what was give me the worst one. What was like, oh, man, that just didn't absolutely doesn't work?
I mean, here's the thing. Everything works. If you figure it out, everything works. I'll tell you right now. But I mean, I just thought of the best possible thing I could do is cold call because I have the potential of getting clients and I get better about talking about the thing that I have no idea how to talk about, right? Because when you first start business, when you start GoHighLevel, dude, GoHighLevel's a complicated software for some people, not for everyone, but for some people. So I was just like, dude, I don't know what's going on here. So I was like, okay, website. Like, I know what a website is, right? No idea how to build one, no idea what a domain is, I don't know anything. Like, I generally understand what a website is. So let's talk about that. and just started cold calling. And dude, just people just telling you to, you know, go play in traffic, go jump off a building, like yelling at you. It's a brutal thing.
Yeah, you jump and build the parachute on the way down.
Exactly, and that's what I knew. I just knew that had to happen. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I just getting the action steps in and just started cold calling. And yeah, it took me 12 days to get a client on a 2-week free trial that converted into a $97 a month, that converted into a $197, and he's still paying.
Everyone always asks me, Brendan, how do you get started in entrepreneurship? Just start. That's it. That's really it.
Because people overanalyze what that means.
Well, I can't teach you. You can't teach entrepreneurship. I can only give you the first step.
Yeah.
If you don't take the first step, I can't teach you the second step, right? So just start, right?
100%.
And what about you? What was give me, I know you tried a lot of things because he's good at talking to people. I know you did.
I was not.
You probably did the behind the scenes code outreach, code DMs.
Oh my, dude, I've done everything.
Talking about cold SMS.
Yeah, I do have a good strategy that works really well. But when I started out, I did start cold calling as well, actually, and doing cold email. So I had, when I'm telling you, the most sophisticated cold email outreach shit, fucking insane. Right? That's where I was losing $1,000 a month on. Right? But it didn't work though. It didn't work for me. But I was basically doing cold calling. That's where I started out with. And yeah, I didn't get anything for like 6 months. I got people on meetings, dude. I was so fucking nervous. Like I was shitting myself on meetings, dude, with like real estate agents and stuff. And then yeah, I found cold SMS because I saw someone in the community doing that, and that just popped off.
All right, so before we jump into the next question, you guys told me about a pretty funny script about a Julie Becker. Yeah. I want you guys to dive into that. I mean, you're popping off. You're getting 12, 15 clients, 30 meetings a day. What the heck is that script, man? What's the Julie Becker script?
So
you can explain it, Mike. Make sure you give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, so I didn't come up with this, right? But I saw a video of him doing his cold calls. And he's like, the way he basically opens up, he's like, yeah, there's a friend of my mom's gave me your number, Julie Becker. You guys did a job for her like a little while back, but she said you guys don't have like a website or anything like that, right? So the contractor's thinking like, Julie Becker. Well, what's the address? You know, what job do you do? I don't know, dude. It's a friend of my mom's. I got no clue. And then you just fucking hop into your pitch. They're like, oh yeah, you know, whatever. Fuck it. Yeah, I'll check out your website that you made for me. Yeah. 30 meetings a day. Not even fucking kidding. I was booking 30 meetings a day off of this shit. Ridiculous.
Now the Julie Becker thing was not something I thought about either. I will say sometimes I get angry, you know, sometimes I get very upset, and there was just one day I was just cold calling. Just rejection. I take my mouse, I throw it against the wall. I look at my buddy, I'm like, watch this. I make the next phone call. I try that script out of nowhere, booked a meeting, closed him that day, and I was like, oh my God, I just figured something out. And that's what entrepreneurship is in a nutshell. It's just literally throwing shit against the wall, literally, until something sticks. And that has been every single breakthrough we've ever had has just been that.
All right. So now tell me about the first client that you guys got. And what was that feeling when someone actually gave you a credit card and you guys was like, I just made $300? And like, what was that feeling?
Dude, honestly, for me, it was fucking insane. Because this was like my first client, like the first money I really made online. I remember closing this guy. He was like, yeah, let's do it. It was like an Israeli guy. These guys are like the best, like super easy to close for some reason, always, right? He's like, fuck it, let's give it a try. Let's do it. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, wait, what? You want to give me your money, dude? He's like, okay, so do you have like a card? He's like, yeah, I'll go get it. I was like, fucking flabbergasted, because you gotta understand, I didn't have anything. I didn't even know how I was gonna fulfill on this shit, right? So I was like, dude, this is insane.
I think you said something super important. You didn't know how you was going to do the next step, but you figured out step one first.
Exactly.
Always figure out.
Always do that.
It's the same thing. And every single time we've ever done anything else, it's just, okay, let's just rep it out, figure it out. And the first step, take action. But as far as my first client goes, same exact thing, dude. Like my mom called me right after and she's like, are you okay? Because I started screaming right after. I was like, I fucking did it. This is insane. Free trial, by the way. He didn't even pay me. Just a free trial. Got his credit card though. But it's just incredible because like you've never made money online. You've never gone through, like you don't even know you just have no idea what you're doing. And like for someone to give you their credit card, I mean, and that me and you talked a little bit about this earlier, but that's why when you're first starting out, everyone has this mindset of, oh, I want to get rich quick. I'm going to make 10K in a month. It's like, dude, like stop trying to sell a $5,000 product or a $3,000 product when you've never sold something online ever. Just even if it's a $5 product, just go through the experience of getting someone's credit card, a stranger's credit card, running it, and then fulfilling on whatever you promise. Just do that.
Yeah, and so many people do it backwards. They're like, oh, I need to learn everything there is to do fulfillment before I go sell. No business in the world works without sales. Sales is number one, right? Even before marketing, you got to be able to sell. Yeah. right? Sales, marketing, fulfillment. So yeah, you did it right. You're just like, I'm going to figure out step one of how to sell this.
Yeah. That's literally the exact mistake I made, and that's why I didn't get anything for 6 months, because I was like figuring out fulfillment. Oh, how am I going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. Dude, no fucking point.
You know how many people are out there that have the sickest snapshot with the best automations, Slack setups, Zapiers, reporting, and they got 0 clients?
Dude, 100%.
Those guys go work for guys like you guys because they can't figure out sales.
Yeah.
The other way,
Sales is hard though, to be fair, man.
Yeah.
You know how hard
Yes.
sales is, right? Because I mean, dude, even like I said, my first client, like I was cool, but like my heart was beating out of my chest, like so nervous.
Yeah.
I usually don't get too nervous with stuff like that, and it's just you just have to jump, figure out the parachute later.
yeah, and it's important because I think there's 2 ways to do it. The other way that you can do it is to go work for some type of digital product selling, and then learn to get confidence sales with someone else's offer that's proven that you have confidence behind, and then kind of see and get a feel for it, and then decide if you want to go start your own company, right? But I think it's important that you said like your heart's beating out of your chest because most people only make $3,000 to $5,000 a year.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult for them to be like, man, this guy's gonna give me $300, much less, or yeah, a month, $3,000 to $5,000 a month. But this guy's gonna give me $300 a month. That's 1/10 of my salary, and I don't have to do anything. Like that's a car payment. That's groceries for a week. Like that's crazy. For most people in most situations, I've said this for so long, if they can just get 3 to 4 clients, it's completely life-changing for the average family. Completely what's an extra $1,000? That's a nice car. That's with insurance. That's gas. That's groceries, right? For people who are living paycheck to paycheck, I think everyone should have some type of side hustle where they're going out and getting at least 3 to 5 clients so they figure it out.
1,000%, dude, and it's so doable. And what's the craziest part is Alex Hormozi says this, but it doesn't get harder. It has never gotten harder for me ever.
Yeah.
The hardest part was that first client. The hardest part was that first week. Always, like since it just continues to get easier and easier. And don't get me wrong, like ask Mike, I'm pissed. Half my days I'm like, God damn, Mike, this is not working. Like I'm pacing around the house pissed off. Like I have a bad client, I messed something up, my sales isn't working. But it has still never got harder than when I had no idea what I was doing and I had no proof of concept, I had no clients. Yeah. So if people could understand that, it doesn't get harder, I think more people would try. At least just try for a year.
It's like anything else, right? It's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks suck, right? You know, that first habit breaking 3 weeks, you know, the 21 days, that sucks. But the biggest key to being successful is just showing up every day.
100%, dude. 100%.
That's it.
You can't fail if you don't quit.
Exactly. And I think it's much easier than people realize once they get past the hardest part, which is just the confidence of this can work.
100%.
And I also fully understand why people fail at that first benchmark because I'm very hard-headed. I'm very stubborn. I was like, I don't give it. Like I'm not gonna quit. And if I'm being 100% honest, there was so many days where I literally was just like, I'm done. Like I'm done with this. Like I quit. Like so many days where I literally had that feeling, and I was like, today's the last day. Like I can't do this again. And I just, out of pure discipline, I would just sit there at my computer. I'm like, okay, I can't do deep work. I'm just gonna make calls and just do something. And then I got another client. I got a little momentum. And I just kept going. But dude, so many days I was just on the verge of just being like, I'm done, honestly.
I have a little bit of a mindset trick because it does get hard some days. Your energy's low, you have some personal things going on, and then you get some client stuff on top of it, and it just sets you over the limit. So I just always tell myself, I'll just quit tomorrow. It's like a Navy SEAL thing. Like the only easy day was yesterday. So I just tell myself I'll quit tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow there's tomorrow again, right?
I love it.
So I was like, I'll just quit tomorrow.
I love it.
Right?
Solid, I love that.
And then you wake up and you feel good. You go to the gym, get some good night's sleep, go to the gym, eat right, hit your day. You have a better day tomorrow.
Yeah. And I love that. I really genuinely wish there was more content about 0 to 1 because like we talked about earlier, it's like that is the hardest part. And at least for me, it was, I will give myself permission to quit after a year. If I try this for 365 days and I just try, I give my all for a year. And at the end of the year, if I'm not successful or I'm not where I want to be, even if I'm making 3 or 4K a month and I don't feel like I'm good at this, I will quit and I won't be sad. I won't have let myself down. I'll still be proud of myself for trying. But I promised for a year, successful or not, I will not quit. That's it. 1 year. Change it, completely life changing. Now I'm making $30,000 a month. Here with my guy in Colombia, meeting people like you, meeting people like Pavel. It's just life changing. 1 year.
100%.
I had a mindset coach for a while because I was going through like some stressful times, and I just started making money. And when you just start making money, you're so scared to lose that money, right?
God, dude, yeah.
Bro, you're stacking every dollar in the bank, like
Yeah.
because what happens, an ego and pride thing comes. You start having the success, and then your friends start seeing you have the success, and your parents start having success. And then what they tell you when you started, oh, that's not gonna work, and now it's working. You proved them wrong. Well, now they start saying, oh, you're scamming people, or you're selling drugs, or it's not gonna last that long. So for us, it's like, no, that can't happen,
No,
right?
no.
So that starts to come into play. And what she would always tell me, she would say, Brandon, if everything fell apart tomorrow, what would you do? And I'd be like, the same thing I've always done. I would just go find a way to make money. And she's like, then what are you worried about? So think about that. If you lost it tomorrow, do you think you would just be living on the street, or you think that you would find something else, or just go get a job and then figure it out again?
I feel like at this time we could easily build something again, just because of like, even if you failed, right? Like you tried it for a year, it didn't work out. The skills that you will have after trying this for a year, you could build basically anything.
Or you can go get a high-paying job
Exactly.
for
like,
someone else while you build something else.
Exactly. Like that's literally it.
And if you just take GoHighLevel as a software, if you sat there for 3 months and just learned everything about that software, the skills that you now possess, being able to use that software, you could pitch that. I mean, even if you're not an entrepreneur, you could show that value and go get a job just working as like a GoHighLevel tech or something that's high pay, like anything. Even if you learn the skill of sales, cool, you can go get a closer job making minimum $10K a month.
Yeah,
You can go to any home service business and be like, look, I can come in and fix all of your marketing for you.
Exactly.
And they'll give you 5, 6, 7K a month to come in. While you're doing that, you build something else on the side.
And 100%. But when you're starting, you only see what's in your bank account. You don't see the skills that you're gaining along the way.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. And then I look back 6 months from now, I'm like, oh my God, like I can build automations. I still can't build a website, but I can do all these things. All growing up, everyone's like, oh, you're not tech savvy. Like you're an idiot. You don't know how to you suck at, you're just stupid, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And now I look back, I'm like, man, like I can actually do things now that I never would have thought in a million years I ever would have been capable of doing ever. And it's incredible to look back on that and be like, the skills that I've acquired, it's insane, man. It's like the money is awesome, but again, the skills is, you keep stacking skills and you're just going to become successful.
Yeah, because you guys are so early. You're just now in your second year of business.
Not even yet, yeah, year and a half.
Yeah, and you're in your actual full second year of business now, right?
Yeah.
And you don't even start to get any type of consecutive data that you can go back and reference until after 2 years in business, because you need 2 years of actual business to analyze data, which is hard.
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
So, so you guys can't, if you guys take a dive 1 month, you can't go back and reference data for 10 years and see if that's normal in that time period, right?
Yeah.
But you guys have SaaS, which is awesome. It's so much more stable than the high ticket space. But all right, so now you guys, we're all the way up to, you got your first client and that feeling, and you guys are starting to get clients and you're like, this is it. Like I found it out. What are the problems that followed?
Oh man, I love.
Where were the mistakes?
I love questions like this because I think so few people are willing to share honestly what a shit show business is.
Yeah.
Any business, because like every single day there's always issues, always. And I'm an open book with that stuff. I have a better time talking about the shit show and the funny stories than I do about the success. Like honestly, if I could just make YouTube videos about all the funny stuff that's happened, all the failures, I would prefer to make content on that than how I make $30,000 a month with SaaS. But it's finding the right clients. We have clients who see what we do and they're like, oh my God, I love that. Here's my credit card. And then we have clients that are just like, you guys don't do anything. Like you guys are completely useless. So we get a bunch of those. And the problem is it's very, because we're low ticket, everyone is qualified. Like for you with social media marketing, if you're making, if you're a home service business doing $5,000 a month, they're not gonna be able to pay you a 3K retainer.
No.
Right? But for us, they can. And we can help those people immensely. The problem is a lot of them are qualified, but it's the type of person that, how do you explain this better? Because it's the type of person, it's the client avatar.
They're financially qualified,
Yeah.
but it's not our actual avatar. Like they are too stupid to understand.
You can't say that.
No, you can say it.
They're literally
Uneducated. Uneducated is the right term.
They just don't know.
They just don't understand. It's like, okay, like, look, man, what we do for you, this will tremendously help you. But it's not an instant thing. Like, you have nothing in place. Like, we're setting up all these things, all these systems, a website, everything you need to go to that next level, but they don't understand that they need it.
Because they don't have volume.
Exactly. And they don't get an instant result like that. Like, oh, I'm doing Angie's List, I'm doing this or that, like the lead gen services. And they're like, okay, it doesn't work.
And
right?
off that, everything changed for us. Like I went from $4,000 a month to $12,000 a month when I figured out that the key to getting clients quickly was literally just a quick VSL, video sales letter. But we call it a Trojan loom. It's just a fancy. But you send this loom to them before you get on a sales call. You put it on your booking page, and it's just literally me talking to the camera. As home service businesses, they're very straight up. They're dudes. They're very bro. Yep. I just look at the camera. I'm like, listen, man, there's a lot of bullshit online. Here's exactly what we do. Basically, the vibe is take it or leave it. This is what we set up for you. We don't have any hidden fees or anything like this. These are the prices. This is exactly what we do. And once they watch that video and then they actually get on the call, the dudes that actually show up to the call usually actually see value in what we're doing. And that was the biggest turning point in our entire journey. And to be fair, we still have a problem with bad clients. That being said, it's significantly better than at the start. Because at the start, we were just getting guys who wanted to pay us $200 a month, and they expected, a $20,000 lead generating machine. It's like, this is not how this works, man. If we get you 100 Google reviews, the outcome of that is more business. But you have to just know that as a contractor. Yeah. I can't prove to you that Sally decided to work with you because she saw you have 100 reviews at a 5.0 instead of 2 reviews at a 1.9. Right? I can't prove that to you. You just have to understand that as a contract business owner, right? So it's difficult. It is.
Yeah, lift marketing is very different than lead generation, right? Yes. And that's, unless you measure a company's lift after you guys come in, it's very hard to show results, right?
And that's very hard to measure.
It's very hard to measure. Very, very hard to measure. So,
but the beautiful thing is, again, like when you find that client, that ideal avatar, I'll have people who will call me and be like, dude, loved your video. I have a couple questions and I'm ready to get it started.
100%.
And to this day, our biggest problem is still finding the ideal avatar because when you're selling low ticket, everyone is kind of technically qualified. And it's still, it's a shit show every day. Like I said, it really is. It's just business.
And the VSL, I think, is a great strategy to pre-qualify, pre-screen. Yeah. But it's a great lead into the next question, which is, we talked about when you guys both first got started, you used SMMS, you use cold calling, you use cold calling. Do you guys cold call today, and what's that strategy look like today? How's it changed?
I will never.
Those days are gone, bro.
I will never cold call another day in my life. I can't do. It's so brutal. That being said, as Pavel said last night at dinner, it builds thick skin. That's why I think if you're gonna start, cold call. Even if you do 1,000 cold calls, you get 0 results. You don't even. It's like the wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi thing. You don't know that you just learned all these skills until you actually do it, and you're like, I'm just getting better. And then when you get on sales calls, you're better. You're just better at talking about the product.
It doesn't cost anything. Everyone has a cell phone.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And I do still do call SMS, to be honest.
Yeah, we do too. We send out reactivation campaigns and all kinds of stuff.
Because call SMS is just like it's kind of the same like ads. Like people putting their hands up, like I'm interested, basically. Yep. So you call those people up, so they're not 100% cold anymore. It's way easier to book a meeting with them. So they're like a lot more qualified, and then you still make them go through like the entire scenario of like the VSL and all that stuff. It's just a lot easier. But cold calling, bro.
Yeah, well, I love cold SMMS if you do it correctly. We have some cool scripts inside the community as well, but everyone reads text messages. Exactly. 92% of all phone calls go unanswered. So you make 100 calls, you're gonna speak to 8 people. You send out 100 text messages, 100 people's gonna read them. So it's just it's the way that the numbers game, right? Yeah. That's all it is when you're cold calling. When you're doing any type of outreach, it's a numbers game.
100%. I completely agree.
And to be fair, like I didn't even know about cold SMS. When I saw Mike's system, I was like, I would so much have rather have done this, but I had no idea how to set it up. Like it's complicated, right?
Yeah.
It's simplified now. Like now we simplified it, but it's like back then I was just like so out of my depth with GoHighLevel. I was like,
I'm surprised you guys didn't run voicemail drops.
I suggested that. I did
actually. When I was cold calling, I actually did.
Yeah.
Voicemail drops work.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to do that for a while.
So you're never cold calling another day in your life. So what's the strategy now?
It's paid ads, honestly, man. Cold SMS is still a good one, just because it's literally free, basically.
Yep.
And then paid ads like actually scale.
Referrals and paid ads.
Referrals, 100%. Because paid ads is just like, okay, boom, meetings booked, that's it. Like you don't even have to call them. It's just so easy.
Yeah, you're leveraging the algorithm while you're doing other things, and then.
Yeah, and as long as you can get like if you can do the equation right, put $1 in, get $1 out on the front end for us. If we can
infinitely scalable.
Exactly. We can spend $300 to acquire a client, and it's $300. It 1-to-1 on the front end. We're stoked. That's what we're looking for every single time.
Man,
and ads are hard to run for SaaS, by the way. It's way easier to run ads as a SMMA.
It's not easy.
Yes, that's true. And what you said leads in. What's your LTV right now? Your average lifetime value of a client, if you're charging them $300 a month and you're able to acquire, relatively 1-to-1 or close to, what's your LTV?
Our average lifetime value now is 1,800 to 2K.
Yeah.
So you're getting a 7x LTV on just closing.
Yeah.
Like 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about it too, we have some clients, the biggest churn always is in the first month or two, always.
Yeah.
So if you think about like Tetris blocks, right? Like let's say you have a bunch of Tetris blocks and you have green stacked with a couple reds. The reds are guys who churn month 1, month 2, they're gonna just go out. But if you just keep stacking, you're just gonna keep stacking those green Tetris blocks that just never leave. That's $200 or $300 of revenue finding the right client that is just you'll have for, I still have my first client, so forever in my mind.
So for you guys and your plan to keep scaling moving forward, you're looking to stack more ideal clients and play the numbers game. Yeah. Is there anything else in there for the future that you guys are using to plan to scale?
Always product improvement. Always.
Sure.
And that's a hard thing to do because you have to look and be like, wow, 20 out of 20 clients like literally hated this one feature and they're getting too many spam calls because of the verified number that we get them that has one of our features attached to it. It's like, shit, like that's a really good feature. Like how do we get around that? Yeah. So client feedback is huge. I'm really bad at taking client feedback. Mike's way better than me.
My boy's very passionate.
Because the way the
product is great.
My product's shit, but like how contractors are, man.
Yeah.
I've gotten some heated thing. I have a guy right now on my text message who wants me to fly down to Florida and find a boxing gym and just go at it. So I got there's some shit going on in the streets, man.
I've never had that level of conversation.
To be fair, I could disengage. It takes two to tango, but man, sometimes these guys will say some crap to me. I'm like, that is so rude. Like,
this is a recurring.
I'm helping you.
Yeah. And Mike's over there. He's like, dude, it's okay. Woo-saw.
Like it's fine, dude. Kai, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Mike is so good.
Like, I'm gonna fucking kill him, dude.
Bro, at this point, it's like it's only $300.
It doesn't even matter. It
ain't about the money.
It's not about the money. It's about the principle, Brandon. And I know it's wrong. Listen, I'm not supporting this. I think this is the biggest flaw I have. But goddamn, those people piss me off, man. It fucking kills me.
It's so funny you talk about it just because, bro, it's the truth.
It's so true. It's so true, man.
Bro, and in the high ticket space, it's worse when they're like, screw you, and they charge back $7,000.
Yeah. Oh, way worse.
Yeah.
A 50-50 chance, even though you done delivered everything you said you was going to, right?
Yep.
You just want to just rip someone apart over it.
Yep.
So
I'm working on it, guys. Listen, progress is not linear.
No, it is not.
Yep.
So we're gonna switch gears a little bit and dive back into just the importance of things that you guys did to go 0 to 1, because I do think that's the hardest part. How important do you guys think it is that you collaborated with each other as you guys were getting started?
Honestly, huge. So me, I'm really a tech guy, but I'm honestly not much of a visionary. Like if I'm being completely honest, the entire idea of SaaS I got from him. Like it was not my idea. And us coming together, he has a lot of good ideas, but he can't fulfill on them. Like he can't actually make them. I don't have any ideas, but I can build virtually anything. Yeah. So that was like super essential because we really built out the entire product. Like he gave me all the ideas that we go over it, I build it out, we iterate, we just make it better and better. So like our collaboration in like the business and the product that we have was so important. So important.
Yeah, and I actually had a business partner when I first started, Ian. Shout out Ian, man. He's a great dude, but he has the exact same skill set as me, and that's why we ended up parting ways like 3 weeks into the business, right? That was a big one. If you're gonna have a collab partner or something like that, find someone with opposite skill sets of you, right? Because like I don't need another me. I don't, right? I need a Mike. That being said, like when you first start, I don't know. I really feel like there's something about getting that first couple clients.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like you're not supposed to be collaborating when you don't have any clients.
It's like the blind leading the blind, right? Yeah. Like you have to go through the hazing a little bit by yourself alone in a dark room in your mom's basement and just figure it out. Literally. And then once you have something to show for it, find someone else and you're like, oh my God, you had the same experience. And instantly that friendship is just so strong because you've just gone through the crap together, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, at the worst case, you have someone that is like an accountability partner, but you're not collabing, right? Yeah. It's very important. Like, me and one of my best friends, Alex, we're both rebuilding new things because we sold off everything that we had. And we both hit each other like, bro, what progress did you make today? Like every day. Because it's like when you're starting out, it's the easiest time to fall off the wagon, right? It is. So we just hold each other accountable. It's great for that.
Yeah. I will say one more thing on that. If you are finding someone and you're brand new, like you don't have a client 0 to 1, I mean this in the most respectful way. Most people aren't going to make it. So if you find someone that's just like lazy and like you can tell they're just not really about it, that's gonna actually hurt you more than it's gonna help you.
Yeah.
So you need to find someone that I just could tell when I met Mike, I was like, dude, this guy has that grind mentality where it's like we're gonna get shit done. And that is super rare to find. And you need to find someone like that. Otherwise, like you are wasting your time and it might even hurt you because they're just giving you bad ideas.
100% agree with that.
Yeah. And that's so much easier said than done, man. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and I have I have a lot of partnership experience. And I'll say this, I can never expect someone to keep up with me when I am in absolute locked in grind mode. Like it's almost impossible because I get to a level of obsession. So what I look for is, can that person keep up with me 80% of the way? If they can keep up with me 80% of the way, they can hang, right? I never expect someone to work 17 hours a day, for 3 weeks straight without going outside of his apartment.
I mean, or maybe you flip, the script on that and you find someone who will outwork you some of the time.
Yes, if you can find it. I've just never found it when I'm actually locked in, right?
Yeah.
So I can't
you
expect.
You haven't spent enough time with Big Mike, man.
Yeah, it's rough because when you get on a level of obsession, it's hard. It's actually easy to look down and be like, this guy's not pulling his weight. That's not actually true. That guy might like let's talk about Mike. Mike might be in a season where he's trying to accomplish a goal in the gym and he's got to spend 3 hours in the gym. So it's not that he's not aligned with you. He just has some other things where he can't spend 18 hours in the business. Doesn't mean that he's not grinding. So I always look at it, can this guy produce at 80% the level that I can? If so, that's a good partner.
1,000%.
I can pull the other 20%. What I can't pull is 180 and 20, right? Together you're supposed to have 200% total, right? I can't pull 180% and the other person pull 20, but I can pull 120 consistently. And that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. I think that's a good lens to view it through.
So otherwise you're just going to burn all your partnerships down instantly.
100%.
I still to this day, I disagree with fundamentally getting a partner for your first business.
You should not get a partner until you've tried for a year every single day consistently, maybe got to 5, 6, 10K a month and then failed. If you fell after you get started, then maybe look for a partner to help you where you failed. But starting out, you need to give yourself a year to prove to yourself that you can either do it or you can't do it, and give it like enough time to marinate.
1 year, man. I mean, dude, 1 year. I mean, as silly as it sounds, I literally saw a TikTok when I was just like absolutely down bad after college. I was doing the Airbnb thing, and I saw a TikTok, and it was just something so dumb and motivational. It's like, what would happen if you dedicated 1 year, just 1 year of your life to something? I was like, it's a great question. I'm gonna try that. And like,
so many people try to run before crawling. They're like 19 or 17 in high school and they try for 3 weeks and quit and look for a partner. Bro, you can fail for 10 years and still be ahead of 99% of the people in the United States. If you just try and fail over and over and figure it out on year 11. You give yourself 3 weeks before you quit. It's crazy. Like, you guys that are young out there that are not in your 40s and 50s trying to get this started, you guys have so much time. Like, give yourself time to learn the skills and figure it out.
It's just grit. It's at the end of the day, it's grit. It's how many times. It just. I hate saying this stuff because it really is just so repeated and regurgitate. I can't
regurgitate it.
There you go. Yeah. But it's just all over the internet, and there's a reason that like people say that. It's because it's genuinely true. And there's so much bullshit content online, but like that mindset is so important.
I want to change that because I used to think I've done thousands of media buying calls where I've answered the same questions over and over. And that's what makes a good coach to a great coach or a bad coach. A great coach will always happily answer the same questions over and over again because people don't need to be taught. They need to be reminded, 100%. Right? That's really it. People need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. So you saying, yo, you need grit for the next 20 years is still just as important as it is when you say it the first time.
Yeah, for sure.
True. It is because people just need to be reminded of what it is.
And it's fun. It's funny when you say that too, because sometimes when I ask you questions or Pavel or Eric or any of the guys that I know are farther ahead than me, they'll say something I already know. Like I know that it's true, but when they say it and remind me, I'm like
shit,
he's right again. Like this is what I need to do. And it's funny because you just, like you said, you have to be reminded because I do know that I need to do this, but when they say it, it's like, okay, it makes more sense.
You ever watch the podcast with Joe Rogan and Jocko?
I've watched clips
where he's leading the top SEALs team in the SEAL team, which is one of our most badass special forces unit. And every problem that his people come to him with, he just says, good.
Yeah. Good.
Bro, and it's so powerful because he's like, good. If you don't have problems, you're not making progress. And that's really what it comes down to. If you're not waking up getting punched in the face every day, you're not doing enough. If you're not almost going bankrupt every 5 years because you're pushing the envelope, you're not doing enough, right? Like, that's really how it is. So I love that. Like, oh man, this client fired me today. Good. Where did I get better? Like, that's not my client. Where did I find a good client, you know? So that's kind of, I have just these little things, man, that I like to keep. But even where I'm at, been in the game 7-8 years, you know, I've built multiple successful agencies. I've helped hundreds of agencies scale. Bro, I still have to keep my mindset sharp. I still practice mindset things. I have a little daily sheet that I read, you know, and it's got, you know, Kobe Bryant, become obsessed level on it, right? It's a constant thing to sharpen your mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I know you really like to talk about like the 0 to 1 stuff because I know that's more of what you're getting into. Growing a business is painful. Stagnating a business is painful. Declining in your business is painful. It's all painful.
Choose your hard.
Choose your hard.
It's all bad. And like, I know that sounds like super basic, but I'm like, dude, like that, it's just, after doing it, it's so true. It's always hard.
This is what I look at it. Is it harder to be broke or is it harder to just have hard days and have money?
Yeah.
It's always harder. It's always easier to have harder days and more money. Because money, when you have money, you can solve problems faster by paying other people that's smarter than you or more experienced to come in and solve your problem.
Yep, you're paying for their mistakes.
Yeah, you're not having to go through the grind every day alone. You could just go pay for the knowledge, right? Which actually leads me into my next question. How important do you think it was to have found coaches like Pavel and Eric that you could jump on and just like, hey man, we're dealing with this. What do we do?
I like what you just said about, hey, we're dealing with this, because I think the biggest mistake is a lot of people get on there and they ask these broad questions. Like, how do I get clients?
Yeah.
It's like those are not the people that in my mind are really going to make it, because you need to get on and say, hey, like, theory of constraints. What is the biggest problem I'm dealing with right now? Right? Maybe it's I can't get clients. Hey, these are the things I've tried, but I need you, like with Eric or with Pavel, this is the problem I'm dealing with. I'm going to ask you one question. I want one answer. I want one result. And then I'm going to go implement. Yes. I'm going to come back the next week with another problem. I want one answer, one result, and then I'm going to go implement.
Yeah.
Right? So that is how you use someone like that. And Eric and Pavel are fantastic at that. I hopped on all their calls. At the very start when I was learning, every call I could get on, every mentor I could find, I was getting on calls every single day. Even with GoHighLevel support, just anything that could like help me get a little bit more ahead without me having to just like figure it out myself. So the answer is just extremely helpful. I'm sure, Mike, you feel the same way.
I completely agree with that, because I actually used to do the exact same thing. I was hopping on all the calls with Pavel, all the calls with Eric, because they're so valuable. And especially, and the main thing here, like you said as well, is I believe you need to try and figure it out yourself first. If you go and ask someone a question like, how do I get clients? Well, what have you tried?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like what have you tried to do to create a solution for your own problem? And then you come with that, like, I've tried this. Now your actual coach has some input to give you on what you've already tried, and he knows like, oh, okay, this guy's actually kind of legit. Because that's what most people kind of forget to do. Like, they forget to try something. They just go like, oh, I have a question. Okay, let's ask it. Like, no, try to figure it out by yourself. That is literally entrepreneurship. It's problem solving, and you can't go to someone else to solve all your problems. It's not how it works.
Identify the biggest problem, solve it. Identify the next biggest problem. I can say I've coached for a long time. When I see a student come in, they ask me 17 questions. I know next week that they're going to have 17 more questions because they didn't implement on the 2 questions or the 1 question that was really important. So I do a lot of one-on-one consulting. I stopped doing 1-hour consulting sessions. And what I started to do, I started offering 3 20-minute sessions or 3 30-minute sessions. Because what happens, if you do an hour-long consulting call with someone, you've overwhelmed them most of the time. But if you come to me and you're like, I have these 2 problems, I give you a solution, you have to go try to fix them with that solution and implement, and then bring me back more data so I can help you optimize it further or solve what you're dealing with next. So I figured out my consulting clients get way better results when I do them in groups of 3, because otherwise I can't hold them accountable for implementation. They have to go implement. And I need them to come back to me with the result of what I told them to do so that I can make sure that it worked or it didn't work and we need to pivot.
I love that you just said that, because I have a couple private coaching clients as well, and I just switched the calls from an hour to I think 35 or 40 minutes. Yes. And it's just so much better because I feel the same way. It's like I just gave this kid who has no idea what's going on so much information, like he's overwhelmed. And I'm glad you just said that, because I had no idea if that was the right call or not. It just kind of felt like it. And
They get off the call feeling worse than when they jumped on the call, which is not the goal of the call, right?
Yeah. And but beginners, I understand though, because as a beginner, again, you're just like, I have so many questions. And the one thing as a beginner that you should learn is theory of constraints. I hated high school. I hated like everything school related, the theory of this, theory of that. I don't even know what that means. The theory of constraints was the only like, I guess, academic thing when I first started business, where I was like, oh my God, if you just understand that, you will be so successful. Because even Amazon, at Costco, every big company still operates on theory of constraints. They're at a huge, like way higher level.
Yep.
Right. So understand that, watch a YouTube video. It's such an important concept, because it makes you feel so much less overwhelmed. It's no longer like sales, marketing, fulfillment, find a VA. How do I, retain my clients? It's like, okay, my problem today, my biggest bottleneck, fulfillment doesn't matter if I don't have a client, right? Finding a good VA doesn't matter if I don't have a client. Retaining a client doesn't matter if I don't have a client. So it's just, okay, first bottleneck, I need a client. How do I attack this bottleneck viciously until I get it? And then continue solving and solving and solving. Identify, solve, repeat, right?
Yeah. How do you break your fulfillment system?
Exactly.
That's what that's really what you're trying to do, is you're trying to break your fulfillment system.
Or your product.
Like for growth, you're trying to break the business. That's the only way that you can do it, is by trying to overwhelm the product. And if you can't overwhelm the product, then you're not doing enough sales. It's always a constant back and forth.
1000%. But if you get overwhelmed and you see that all in one big thing, 0 to 1, like we talked about, it's too much. It's too much.
And do you think you guys would have been successful had you not found Pavel and his community?
Yes, 1000%. I would have figured this out regardless.
Yeah.
Pavel and Eric just got me there 10 times faster.
Yeah. And how important do you guys consider having a coach to curb your speed?
I think it's incredibly important. Super, super important. Especially if you're going to like a Pavel thing. Like, it doesn't even technically cost any money. Like, I started out with Iman Gadzhi because I had no clue what I was doing. Like, nothing. And no skills, nothing. So I was like, okay, I'll buy this course so I at least have a bit of an idea and some guidance of what I can actually do and what the steps are that I need to take. And that alone already set me on the right path, made me meet people, everything that I needed to eventually get to Pavel's community and to get to the point where I could literally just take whatever he was doing and immediately get results. Because I got results after like 3 days. I was making money. Because I already built all of the skill sets and stuff, but I was just in the wrong vehicle.
Yes.
Right?
It's like you did the theory of constraints backwards, man. You started over. That's how you gotta watch the video, man. I'm telling you, great video.
In itself that you don't learn till later is just, there's vehicles like, for instance, SMMA. I believe that SMMA has a constraint of around, for most single niches, has a constraint of around $200,000 to $300,000 a month, right? So that's about a $3 to $4 million business, which is a solid business. But if I put that same amount of effort into a roofing company, my ceiling might be $30 million a year, just a different vehicle. Yeah. But you don't learn that until you have some success, that there's different vehicles that make you go faster. And then there's certain vehicles that have way better lifestyle, which is something else that we've talked about.
Which is definitely SaaS as well.
I would say at the beginning though, who cares, man? Just choose something and go. Like,
just get out of the 9 to 5. That's it. Right? Once you get out.
So much easier said than done, man. That's so much easier.
It definitely is, yeah.
It's so much easier said than done.
And I want to jump back. I credit Iman Gadzhi a lot for the level of awareness he brought to online entrepreneurship.
He literally brought this thing back from the dead. SMMA was dying.
Yes.
Iman Gadzhi
blew it up again.
Blew it up, put it back on the map.
Yeah.
And it can't die. Every company needs marketing.
Exactly.
Right? So it'll never die, but it's like, I actually like when everyone's jumping out of the space because it just opens up more share for me, right?
It does.
But, it's positive mindset outlook. But his course, as far as like people being successful, is not very good.
No.
But it will at least open your mind to what's possible.
Who cares? Who cares? Dude, if it gets you from 0 to 1, who gives
Exactly.
a fuck, right?
Exactly.
Pavel's community happens to just be really, really valuable, right?
Yes.
If I found another community, I probably would have gotten there. I would have gotten there slower. It wouldn't have been as good. It wouldn't have been as quick. It would have been way harder. But it's like, dude, just freaking find something and just start, man. Like, that's it.
And you can never blame the content within the course. So I don't say like Iman's course is not good. It's great, especially at teaching someone what's possible.
Yeah.
99% of the people quit.
Yeah.
They do.
Right? And that's just the way that it works.
Yeah. And it's funny you said that because like at least with some of my students, I hear like, oh, it's saturated. Like so SM or
everything's saturated.
No such thing as saturation.
Exactly. Bro. I'm like, I worked my ass off for a year. I had no other responsibilities. Like I didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't go out with friends, didn't even did nothing. it was still so unbelievably hard. So it's like, in my head, how many people are going to go through all of that, not quit, and then actually scale their company? That percent of people is not that high, therefore nothing is saturated. Like the actual percentage of people that you're competing with at like the top, or like when you're actually at 10, 20, 30K a month, it's nowhere near as many people as you think it is, in my opinion.
There's a book. It's been several years since I read it. I think it's called The E-Myth. So the E-Myth will crush any concept of saturation, and it will increase the level of awareness that you have to collaboration, because what the E-Myth's entire book is about is if you can get a group of people moving in the same direction at the same time, you can dominate any industry at any point in time, no matter the level of competition in said industry. 100% true, which is why like the group here in Medellin, like us sitting here collabing, bro, I'll give you everything that's working for me. Because if we can create a group of, because we're all in contractor space, right?
So thank God.
there's 10 of us that are all high level agencies, you know, probably multiple millions of dollars a year in the contracting space, and we haven't even tackled 1% of the market. Yeah. So if we can just get all 10 of us collabing and moving in the same direction, we'll all scale and help more contracting companies in a better way and still not touch 5% of the market.
100%.
No matter how far we go, right? So it just, that's the concept of it.
100%. And this is a little bit off topic of that, but again, back to 0 to 1, I think everyone, at least even I did it. I was like, I see all this stuff online. Like, I need to like make something up. I need to like invent something. I need to like invent a company. I need to like invent a model. I need to like invent a strategy. Dude, if you just copy somebody, there's a reason it works. If I sit and that's what I did with Pavel. I saw he's making 20, 30K a month with SMA. I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to do the exact same thing. I don't have to get to 20K a month. If I get from 0 to 1, let's say 0 to 1K a month, that's fantastic. Now I have momentum. But everyone's trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like, dude, go on YouTube, find one person that has proof that they actually are making the money that they say they're making, and literally just copy them. Like, it works. Right, and then you can figure it out.
It's literally what I did to you. I literally copied them. I'm like, fuck it, dude, let's do it.
Yeah, but it's true though, and that's how it works. And so many people when they're first starting, because I did the same thing, and my friends who wanted to start as well, they're like we're all sitting around the table like thinking like maybe we could do this, let's do that, like let's invent something. It's just
take what works.
You can't show me how many people have been successful on their first invented product. I don't even think it is out there. When you look at it. When you're trying to invent something, you need money. Yeah. You need money, you need experience, because you have no feedback of what someone actually likes, no market research, anything. You can't invent anything. So copy someone. Look how many roofing companies are out there. They all do the same thing, right?
Literally.
Copy someone. Once you start making money, then spend money on innovation. You don't got to copy them all the way through. Get to where you're making 10K a month, take your money, then go innovate, right? Yeah. You don't have the money or the skills or the experience to innovate when you're starting out.
Exactly. I think more, but I think that's one of the biggest ones. I mean, maybe that's just a personal experience, but even with my students, it's like maybe I could do this and that and this. It's like, dude, turn off your brain. I'm giving you already what I've done. Just copy it. Like I promise you, it works.
Yeah. Stop making this hard. Exactly. Stop making it hard. Listen to the guy.
Just follow the fucking step. Just follow the course, dude. Step 1 to 7. Just do it. Just do what we fucking
can't mess it up. Yeah. Just keep on each step till you figured it out. When you get to 7, you'll have an extra $1,000 in your pocket. Now you do what you want to do.
And then and then you can start like, oh, maybe let's do this, because then you actually have a lens to like make decisions, right? At the beginning, you don't even have a lens to be like, this is a good idea or not, because you have no idea. Right, so go through the process first, man, and then figure it out always.
So I think that kind of answers the question I had, which is like the number one piece of advice that you guys would give to someone starting out. Yeah, for sure. It's just follow the steps that someone gives you until you figure it out.
100%.
Yeah, I mean,
find a good community that you enjoy or you agree with the business model. Follow the steps till you have success with it, and at least give it a year shot.
100%.
I would say that's number one.
You know, at least give it a good year. Like anything you want to do, shoot at it for a year with everything you have. Show up every day. If it don't work, pivot. Exactly. Find someone else.
Do what works. Do what someone else has made it work, and just copy that and keep doing it for like a year. You will make money.
I do still think the strongest piece of advice really would be just do it for a year. And if you want to choose 6 months, use your horizon. But I think people are afraid. Obviously, people are afraid to fail. But I think it's like if you give yourself permission to fail, number one. But also like if like for me, it was like, okay, I'm gonna do 1 year, and if I quit after a year, I don't feel bad at all. Like I tried. This was the goal that I promised myself. That's the goal. The goal isn't make $30,000 a month. That just happened. The goal was try at this thing for a year. And I want to use that, and I want to hit that home, because I just think if people did that, they would be significantly more successful. 100%. And if you quit, you quit. But just for a year, actually try. Because most people don't actually try.
And at the very least, you don't have to live with the what if. Like, what if I actually committed to this business for a year and I actually tried? I could have been successful. I could have had all these things. And then you're like, later down the line, because this is what happens to a lot of people. Like, this is why people have like a midlife crisis, right?
Yeah.
Like, what if I did this? What would my life have looked like? If you at the very least try for a year, and even if you fail, right? Even if it doesn't work out, at the very least, the question, what if, has been answered, and you know what happened, and you actually gave it your best. Because that's just super, and that's the way I literally approached it. I was like, look, because I was basically going 40 hours a week at work, 40 hours a week at agency, and I was doing shit at both, right? I was like, I cannot live with myself if I don't really commit to it. So I quit my job making literally no money, right? I was like, I am going to commit myself to this for a year, because I can genuinely not live with the question, what if I tried this and I actually became successful with it?
And I think this is great into our next question, because a big thing for me was whenever Steve Jobs got cancer, and they asked him a question, and they said, man, you know, your company's worth $1 trillion. You know, you're not going to make it out of this thing. Like, you know, you're going to die. What's important? And his answer was basically like, nothing else matters except for the memories that I've, you know, left. And I wish I would have spent more time with my kids. I wish I would have spent more time traveling. I wish I would have spent less time at work, right? So my next question for you guys is, now that you have consistent profit, like, you know, you're going to make $15K a month plus whatever you do that month, you know, you're going to make $30K a month, what you're going to do, you know, and add on. But you guys are very much in touch with a lifestyle business, and as am I now, because I did the $100 million chase, right? And the grind in the 3 years. You know, what has that done for you guys? How do you guys feel that you have this freedom now where you don't have to wait till you're 55 and you can't really move around and do the things? Like, you can live now and still be successful. What does that feel like?
So, I mean, it feels fucking amazing, first of all, obviously.
Was it worth the hard work?
It was 100% worth it. It was 100% worth it, because think about all the doors this opened. Me, myself, I'm a big traveler, and I come from Belgium. You know, we don't make 5K a month. We make like 2K a month if you have a good job. Yeah. Right? So me making 15K a month, I'm like a fucking baller in Belgium, basically. And it's opened so many doors where I can basically do wherever I want, go wherever I want, and it allows me to live a good life. And I'm obviously still trying to, you know, grow my business and get better and better and better, because I still have other goals, and I still like want to take care of my family and stuff like that, which I can't do yet at this point. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. Like, I would highly recommend anyone to try this stuff, because it's absolutely life-changing, man.
Yeah, I feel less in touch with like the traveling side and like doing what I want to do. All that stuff is fantastic. For me, it's more about like the confidence that I could do it. It gave me a lot of confidence. After I graduated college, I was just lost, dude. Like, I had some injuries, shoulder problems, back problems. Like, I would just lay in bed all day, painkillers, pornography, just being a fucking loser. And like, just for like 2 years, bro, like every day, just like 2 years, just like my back's fucked up, like my shoulder, I can't do anything I love to do. Like, my body's wrecked. And I just put all of that sadness and anger into the business. And like, yeah, I still have these issues, but just the confidence and the enjoyment to be able to like work at something and see something be built has given me like a whole new outlook on life. And it's actually made life, like, for me, like worth living. Like, I'm stoked now. I still have bad days, but it's like, it's huge, man. And yeah, also once you like, did you go to college? I don't remember.
Yeah, I went to college.
Yeah, you did, yeah. So, but it's like, when you're in college, you're all doing the same thing. You have all the friends doing the same stuff. You're in the frat, you're at the parties, you're doing all this stuff. Like, you know, you have like a reputation, you're someone. When you graduate, dude, like, you're no one. You start over. And I was just like, so lost, bro. So that's, I would say, the number one thing that's given me is confidence, and like, I would say pride of myself for doing something that's freaking hard to do.
Because as a man, we're supposed to provide, right? Exactly. As best we can. And life's going to humble you at some point, whether it comes in form of injury, disease, you know, something unexpected happens, financial crisis. Life's going to humble you somewhere. So the confidence to have the skill to do it is amazing. And, you know, I always have been told this, but when you get to around the 30K, 20K mark of income, yeah, you can't buy the yacht and fly private, and you're not going to have your own private jet or helicopter, but you pretty much have a complete freedom lifestyle.
It gives you like 90% of the things you would probably want in life.
You can do whatever you want to do.
It's not the Lambo, but you don't really need a Lambo.
You can have $20K a month. You can have a Lambo.
I ain't getting a Lambo, dude. That shit's too small. I can't put my surfboards in it, man. How am I getting a Lambo?
Yeah, surfing, right? You need a
Pull
truck.
to the beach in a Lambo. Give me your Ford
you know?
Raptor, man.
Give me the TRX, whatever. Yeah, you need just a truck. I agree with you on that.
One last thing I want to add to that too, and probably one of the coolest experiences I've had is coming down here to Colombia, meeting you and Pavel and Eric and all the guys, and like it's cool to like have a conversation, just be able to talk to you guys, knowing how much you've done and how successful you and they are, and like not like we're equals in any way, like we haven't achieved anywhere near as much as you, but we're all like cruising like and having fun as friends because it's almost like we've earned the stripes to be
among you.
Yeah, and that sounds like really bad. Yeah. That sounds like
really weird,
you know, but it's so crazy to watch Eric and Pavel, because we watch them mostly online on YouTube to learn, and it's crazy to see their success and then be able to like hang out with them and just talk about normal stuff, and they just realize they're normal people who just never stopped working, like they're just grinding, and that's an amazing experience.
One thing I would say about our group here, we're all pretty humble. You know, we're not like, oh, you peasant, you know, like some people, but there's a big misconception of people that have money are dickheads.
So
they're
true.
Evil.
It's not that. It's that the new beginner people and the 0 to 1 for someone who's super successful like a Jeff Bezos, he really can't. He's been so far removed out of what it's like to start. He can't really help you, and his time is so valuable that it doesn't make sense for him. Where someone who has put in the work, it makes sense for him to be like, okay, this kid has put the grind in. He's become successful. It's worth me having this conversation with him, because I know that he's actually going to take it and implement on it. If I teach 100 people how to start making $1 million online, only one person at 100 is going to actually implement. And that's just the numbers. And that's why so many people are not successful, and there's so few at the top, right? That's why the journey to the top is lonely. But when you get to the top and you get some traction, there's a lot of really good people there that love to help each other just make more money and collaborate. But that grind and that grit that you're learning to climb Mount Everest, it's lonely, man.
It is. It really is. It really is. Because even for us, I think we can very much relate to that. Like starting out, dude, I didn't have anyone, bro. I literally had no one. I was doing this shit by myself, running to the gym in the fucking rain, hustling, bro. I was in my mom's
working at the chicken factory, man.
Working at the fucking chicken factory, dude. I was literally not going outside. I wasn't talking to anyone. I broke up with my girlfriend. I was like, this is gonna be a lonely road. I dedicated everything to this.
Man, I could lose I could lose all my money. I could lose all my credit. I could lose everything that I have that makes life a little bit easier. And within 2 or 3 days of calling like people like I have like connections with you guys, bro, what's working?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bro, let me come in and like help you scale your offer and launch it so I can launch another offer. And within 3 days, I will 100% be back on the road to success because of the skill set and the connections that I have. Exactly. So I have no fear of losing everything that I have, because I know I can do it within a week if I just sit down and just knock it out with connections.
1000%. And the thing about making connections too, and I before I realized what it was, I thought it was like, oh, like even with Pavel and Eric, I was like, dude, they're doing like way more than us. Like, why would they talk to us? Right. And it's like, I had this like self-conscious feeling like we didn't deserve, but then now I'm realizing it's like whether you're at 10, 20, 30K a month,
they respect the grind that you've already gone through.
Exactly, because they've gone through it.
That's the hardest part, man.
It is. And that's what I'm realizing more and more, and that's really cool. Is it's not about the level of money that you're making to be connected or have friends. It's the fact that the type of person that you are.
Exactly.
And that is just, it's like I know the shit that you've gone through, and I have no choice but to respect that. Right?
And I know that there's really successful people out there that's not in our group because they're not that person that aligns with us, right? There is a group of dickheads that people, and they're still lonely at the top because of the way that they act. But really what it is, if I put you two in a room of 100 people and I taught all you guys how to make money, I don't know that you two are the two that's going to come out until you do it, right? And I know that that's what it takes because I was in that group of 100 people too at one point, and I had to come out, right? You put me in a room with 100 people, I'm going to outwork all 100 of them because I want to get out of the room.
It's a selection effect.
It's a selection effect. That's all it is. And and once you get past that, the doors open up extremely fast. The leverage opens up extremely fast. Like, I learned a lot from you guys in the cover. You have a completely different business model than me. Even something that I could take and implement so that I could have a bigger market to sell to, right? Like, and as you guys will learn something from me, if you want it to scale faster at a bigger ticket price, bro, I'll give you everything that works. It's just, bro, it doesn't matter.
It's crazy you're saying that, because I literally did not understand that concept until I came here with I met you guys. Like I didn't grasp that. Like I don't know where my head was at, but it was just I was just like, yeah, people at 10K talk to people at 10K, people at 20K talk, like that's kind of what I thought it was. And this has been like, dude, even night one, I was like, this is a crazy experience. It's amazing.
Look at Pavel. Pavel's way further than me, and I've been in the game longer than Pavel, but it was the vehicle of which he chose, right? Does Pavel have the same skill sets as me? No. But his business model, in my opinion, is the best business model in the entire world.
Yep.
And I don't think there's anything better than it.
You
can't convince me otherwise.
I completely agree.
And Pavel has taught me so much, even at the levels that we're at, that, you know, he's changed my mindset on what's possible with a passive income stream, right? And it's not passive. I have to put in the work to do
It's
the
never
content.
passive. Get thrown out all the time, man. And it's like, if I'm still happy doing what I'm doing and working to get to, if I get to 10 million a month, I'll keep going. But if, again, Mike said earlier, I'm a little emotional with this shit. If I'm genuinely just not having a good time, like if I'm over it, like with what's going on right now, I'm not having fun. I don't feel fulfilled as much as I used to building this business. And that, to me, I've done it. I've done the thing. I got to 30K a month. I'll get it to 50 as a proof of concept, but honestly, at that, I do see myself switching to something else 110%.
And I do want to dive in here because I think this is a good coaching spot for you. The people who become ultra wealthy do the tedious things that they don't like really well. they're able to power through it. So what my advice to you would be, keep the agency, keep growing it. You don't have to love it to do it, and do something that you love as a passion project. And if it makes you money, great, which it will, because you have a lot of valuable experience. But don't forget what got you to where you're at, right?
It's true.
A lot of people do that, man. And they sometimes they never get back to where they was at.
Yeah, it's true.
That's exactly what I'm basically trying to do. I'm actually going into the coaching route a little bit as well, kind of teaching people the same business model. So, whoever we want to go with, guys, we do the same shit.
Choose me, dude. Choose me.
Whoever you like the best on this podcast,
Exactly.
And don't forget your boy over.
No, if you're a systems tech nerd, man, go with him. If you want to just freaking close your eyes and jump, go with me.
Good way to put it.
That's true. That is a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
But I do want to still scale this company. Like he's a little bit further ahead of me. He's at like 30. I'm at more like 15, basically.
Yeah.
But I do think this is a good business model. And to be honest, he definitely has a point. These contractors can be very, very difficult to work with. But I see it more as like, it's another problem to solve,
Yes.
Like it's just, okay, well, we're working with a low level of people. Maybe we can raise their prices a little bit, provide more value. Like, what can we do to give people better results? And I really see it like that, where I can keep growing the business, make it better and better and better and better. And then that is something that I can deliver to the people I'm coaching as well. Because if I don't believe in my own business anymore, or if I don't like my own business, well, then technically I would be trying to teach people something that I hate, right? And that's not something I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still trying to scale this, basically. And I don't know how far I'll pull it. But I don't see myself pulling out of it anytime soon, to be completely honest, because I do think it's an amazing business model. And like at this point, we can't really get a salesperson yet, or maybe we kind of can. But like at like $50K a month or so,
you guys have the LTV to do it.
Yeah, we do, but it'll kind of slow us down.
It's gonna slow you down, yeah,
a lot.
So like that is definitely something we're looking to do as well. Like I think at $50K a month, I'll probably try and implement it like a salesperson, so I can like focus on all the rest. Because right now, both of us are very, very involved in the business.
And you should be. You're year 2 in.
Exactly.
You don't actually get good at business until year 5. There's some things that you guys are about to run into where you're going to need people like Pavel and other people that's been in this longer.
100%.
You're going to run into taxes. You're going to run into tax strategy. You're going to run into what to do with your cash flow. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you guys are going to run into out of the operational side of the business that now is the next step of level up, right? That you guys haven't hit yet.
100%.
I have not honestly thought about that one time.
And it's coming. But
I know it's coming.
Your first 5 years in business is you should be in the grind, because you don't get good at business until 5 years.
Exactly. And this is a super scalable model, the way that we're doing it. So it's like, I see this like becoming very, very big, because no one else is doing this. We're a very unique product in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And it's softer, man. It's so sticky.
There's a lot of people doing it, but it's
but they're
hard.
doing it terribly, so fuck them,
There you go. They're doing it terribly. Don't worry about saturation. Just go in with a passion and just
make
fuck
it better. There's no such thing as saturation. There's this thing as having a better product, and then there's no fucking saturation, right? People go to the best guy. That's how it works.
I'm gonna end with this story, and then we'll drop where guys can find you guys online, and a special thing that we got coming for you guys for watching this episode. But I have a mentor that I used to work for when I did plumbing sales. And he used to tell me, like, Brandon, I'm going to be the largest franchise owner of Roto-Rooter. And he's like 31 at the time, right? This is 7 years ago. Today, he is the largest franchise holder of Roto-Rooter. His name is Ryan. And last year when I was selling my businesses and I was splitting from Jose, I called him. I was in a hotel parking lot. I was just about to move to Medellin. And I left, and I'm walking the parking lot, bro, because my kids are upstairs in the hotel room, and like I don't want them to hear the conversation. So I'm walking this parking lot. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and mind you, this guy's got 27 companies and $1 billion. Where he's about to exit for over $1 billion, right? And did this in 8 years, and he's talking to me for 4 hours, bro. And he just lights me up for 3.5. Tells me how flashy I am. Tells me that I'm too like out there, that I'm not focused enough. Like, you suck at product. I mean, bro, just lied. And here I am. I done scaled his company's Google ads, okay? By the way, because I ran them. I done scaled ClickFunnels ads. I've done scaled $25 million of sales for Agency Lab and helping them. And I've done all these things that I got this feather in my hat. And he's like, none of that means shit. And he's just roasting me for 3.5 of the 4 hours, bro. And the lesson that I got from it, and guys can look up this definition because I don't remember it off the top of my head, but he says, Your focus now, because you have the skills, needs to be becoming a man of great substance. And what that means is, in a nutshell, is that you should build the greatest product that you can absolutely build without the interest being for yourself. It should be for everyone else to be helped. I'm getting absolutely roasted by my fucking mentor here. And this over a year ago, by the way. And he just tells me coming this, he gives me this huge thing about being a man of substance. And I haven't talked to him since. And you know why I haven't talked to him since? Because I haven't done it yet. And I'm working on it. I've been working on it since I had that conversation. But he's not going to give me the next step until I do it. And that's even at my level, which he's way past. And it was just really humbling to be like, man, I did all this. I make all this great money. I do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. And he's like, you haven't done nothing. You don't know the first thing about scaling an enterprise company. You don't know the first thing about taking over a market. And I'm like, dude, he's just so much higher. He's right. Like I got this big head and I need to come back down and keep going. Like I need to keep leveling up basically. Right. And that's kind of where it comes to. So guys, amazing episode. So much synergy, so much cool stuff dropped. If you guys don't watch all of it and you skip to the end to try to get the free bonus, like you guys messed up. You literally just cost yourself probably a year's worth of time of not listening to the SOP. Anyway, guys, tell them where they can find you online, what you got going on in the future, and drop your YouTube links, your Instagrams, whatever you want to drop.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, I just started YouTube. I'm literally just kind of basically drop everything that I've been doing on there. It's at Kai Stone YouTube. The Instagram's at Kai Stone 808. Yeah, man, I really want to start building a follower base and start building like a really quality program. Like you just said, how can I build the best quality product? If I can just give someone a copy paste version of something that I know will get them to 10K a month, that's what I want to do with my next 16 months, man. And I know I can do it. And the best part is when I'm doing it now, I love it. I'm having fun. So I'm going to continue down that path. And yeah, man, 2025, 2026, YouTube, that's coming.
For sure. So yeah, to find me, obviously, YouTube as well. So my channel's named Michael 3 Van Hoot. So definitely check the description because there ain't no way you're spelling that right. Same for the Instagram.
It's awesome. So there you go. Make sure you go follow them. Guys, in the description below, we have a link to our free community. And these guys are going to be dropping, their free masterclass in that. Or I'm going to try to get them to even drop like a mini course for you guys. But at least a masterclass showing you guys the business model so that you guys can get 0 to 1. That's what these guys are really good at. And I think it's important that you start low ticket as well if you're struggling to sell high ticket. So we're going to put that in the community. Make sure you jump down there, get in the community, and I hope to see you guys in the community on the next call. Peace.